Hi guys, today I'd like to talk about my opinion in the trial of Thomas Cashman. I do think it'd be best if I brought out my opinion fully at the end of once I've recorded the whole trial. I'm still getting a lot of the transcripts and still recording some of those, and I'll get a better picture of what the prosecution think once I've done that. Now the burning question is, do I believe that Thomas Cashman is guilty? Now I'm not 100% sure. I'm 90% sure that he's guilty. But then there's just holes in the story where there's not enough information to actually convict him in my eyes. And like the jury, I actually wanted to hear from Joseph Nee, Paul Russell and Craig Byrne. As far as I can see, none of these statements were read out to the court or no interviews were played out. I know the judge said that she's not doing one about Joseph Nee because he was incoherent. I think hearing Paul Russell's statement, I think that would solidify my belief that he's guilty. That would be, the nail in the coffin, genuinely. But I do believe a lot more people are involved in this case. And I don't understand why certain people weren't arrested for assisting an offender when they have CCTV footage of the clothing being taken by Paul Russell to one of the addresses. And this is Craig Byrne's address. Now, if someone come to my house and gave me clothing and said, keep this clothing here, well, I'd be asking questions. I'd be saying, why? I'd want to know why. And so, when you take on something like that, you must know you're assisting an offender. You must know it. The next day when you hear that a little girl's been shot, you must know it. You're assisting an offender. So why wasn't Craig Byrne arrested? Why is he in prison for this crime? I find that really strange. Really, really strange. Craig Byrne's also been accused of being a drugs enforcer for Thomas Cashman. Now, either way, he would have committed a crime. If he was a drugs enforcer, right, even if he didn't sell drugs, that doesn't mean you're not involved in dealing drugs. You don't have to give out the drugs to be part of that operation. So yeah, I have a lot of questions about that. I really do. And I think that's what throws me off. The fact that we're not hearing Joseph Nee's statement. Even if it was incoherent, he's still a victim of this crime. Whether we like him or not, still a victim. But genuinely, it's still evidence. Whether we like it or not. I don't think the judge explained fully as to why she wouldn't let that statement through. Just because he gave names out and they had alibis doesn't mean he was trying to tarnish the case. Now, he could have had genuine beef with these people, genuine. So, he has got a right to accuse these people. If he thinks that they could potentially go out and kill him, he has got a right to do that. I'm not going to keep mentioning their names because they did have alibis. So, we've got to take that. That's all I can do is take that and say, right, well, they've got an alibi. Until further evidence comes up and says that they're involved, I can't say they're involved. And I think for the reasons, like I say, the jury even asked for those statements. So if they can ask for those statements, I think it shows that they had a reasonable doubt. And they never got those statements. So how did they clear up that reasonable doubt? Did they get new evidence or did somebody speak to them? What happened? I'd really like to know what happened in the deliberations and how they came to that conclusion. I also think in this day and age, the courts need to be updated. I think they really need to be updated. As much as I love the Liverpool Echo for reporting the case, and they've done a fantastic job, I do believe it's down to the court to report it. And we should have a coherent statement from the court telling us what was believed to have happened on the night. simply what the jury believes happened on the night. And I think that should be something that should be made public. So then there's an official story on what happened. So then all these unanswered questions could be answered. Maybe they don't do that because they don't want the public to dispute them. I understand that. But I also think that the public should be assured that they've come to the right decision and fairly. Now, with the CCTV footage, a lot of people are asking why Thomas Cashman wasn't shown entering the unnamed witness's property. Now, this probably because he entered through the back door. And he did this by garden hopping, supposedly, to that address. But did he leave via the back door? Did he? But like I said, I don't believe that everybody has been convicted in this case that should be convicted. Just something doesn't sit right with me. I understand certain information is withheld from the public. I get that, I really do. What I'm trying to do is act like a jury member. I know that sounds really, really silly. But I think that's the best way to judge it. That's the only thing that I can do. I'm trying to judge it on the facts that they've given. Like the rumour mill really isn't a good place or a good source of information. I did find it strange because Thomas Cashman said that he wasn't a grass. But he was quite happy to grass up Craig Byrne, wasn't he? I'm surprised that he did that. I don't think he realises he was grassing him in. Thomas Cashman said he didn't want to leave Kaylee Ann Sweeney for the unnamed witness. And she was just a bit on the side, basically. So why promise to go to Marbella with her? Why do that? Why lead her on? I think something more was going on. I really, really do. I don't know if they'd just had sex 3 times. I actually doubt that. I don't believe it. But I am glad that the unnamed witness is safe, you know, and I hope she remains safe. Like I said, there's nothing more important than that. And as for Paul Russell, he came forward first. He was the first person. You may think, oh, we wouldn't have got none of this evidence if it wasn't for the unnamed witness. But it was actually Paul Russell. So he does deserve credit for that, and I think that will reflect in his sentencing. That's going to happen in a few weeks. But the fact that he didn't testify, I think that'll also reflect too. So I don't think he's going to get a lot of years. I don't think he's going to get the maximum of 10 years. But I do think he's going to get a couple of years, and it might even be suspended due to his actions. Like I say, there's a lot more questions that are unanswered. But I don't want to put all them out just yet because I need to go through the whole case and get a good understanding of what happened. The door's not closed on this case yet.